You just gave a robot the keys to your computer and told it to go book a flight while you grab coffee. It clicked around, it filled the form, and somewhere in the middle, it just froze on a cookie banner like it had never seen a website before. That is the ChatGPT computer control feature in a nutshell. It actually moves your mouse, types in boxes, and clicks buttons on real websites so it can finish a task for you, start to finish. So here's the plain answer up top, before we get into the good and the ugly. Yes, ChatGPT can now control a computer and do multi-step tasks on the web for you. But for most normal business owners, it is impressive in a demo and shaky in real daily work. And there are cheaper, simpler ways to get the same job done. Stick with me, because by the end, you will know exactly when this thing is worth using, when it will waste your afternoon, and the one type of person who should honestly just skip it for now. This whole idea broke out hard recently. People saw a clip of an AI quietly doing tasks on a screen and lost their minds. And the demand is real because everyone wants their busy work gone. But hype is not a verdict. So let us actually pull this apart. Quick thing before we get into it. This channel is brought to you by NBC Canada Inc. If you run a trades or construction business and your books are a mess, they fix the bookkeeping disaster that is choking your cash so you can finally see your real numbers instead of flying blind. There is a free trades bookkeeping scorecard linked at the top of the description that shows you where your business is quietly leaking money. Go grab it, it takes minutes. Now back to the robot. Let me show you what this feature really is without the sci-fi framing. You give ChatGPT a plain English goal. Something like, find me 3 quotes for a printer and put them in a doc. Then it takes over a browser and starts doing the steps a human would do. It reads the page, decides where to click, types text, scrolls, and moves to the next site. The key thing to understand is it is not plugged into secret data pipes. It is looking at the screen the same way you do and pretending to be a very fast, very literal intern. That is genuinely clever. For years, automation meant you needed a special connection between apps or a developer to wire things together. This skips all that. If a human can do it in a browser, in theory, the agent can too. And when it works, it is a little magic. You describe the outcome, you walk away, you come back, and the task is done. No clicking, no tabs, no copy-paste marathon. But that phrase, when it works, is doing a lot of heavy lifting, because the gap between the demo and your actual Tuesday is where this whole story turns. Here is the first crack, and it is a big one: reliability. A human doing a 5-step task online almost never fails at step 4. You just know what to do. The agent does not have that instinct. Every single click is a fresh guess, and guesses stack up. Think about it in plain terms. If each step is mostly reliable but not perfect, a 2-step task is usually fine. A 10-step task is a coin toss that something goes sideways in the middle. The more steps you chain, the more chances there are for one weird page to break the whole run. And websites are hostile to robots without even trying. Pop-ups, cookie banners, a login that suddenly wants a code from your phone, a layout that shifted since last week, a human shrugs and clicks past it. The agent can freeze, click the wrong thing, or confidently do the opposite of what you meant. That is the honest reliability picture. It is not broken, it is just not something you can fully trust to run alone while you ignore it. And a task you have to babysit is a very different promise than a task that runs itself, which leads straight into the next problem, and this one costs you the thing you were trying to save: time. The whole pitch is that it saves you time, but watch what actually happens. The agent works step by step, and it thinks between steps. It reads the page, decides, acts, then checks what happened before the next move. That deliberate rhythm is careful, but careful is slow. For a task you already know how to do, you are often faster just doing it. You do not stop to reason about where the search box is. Your hands already know. Now add the babysitting from a minute ago. If you have to sit there watching in case it stalls, you did not save time. You spent your time supervising a slow intern instead of just doing the thing. Here is where it flips though, and this is fair to the tool. The math changes when the task is long, boring, and repetitive. If something takes you 40 minutes of dead clicking and you genuinely can walk away, then slow but hands-off starts to win. even with a stumble or two. So speed is not a flat yes or no. It depends entirely on whether the task is short and skilled, where you win, or long and mindless, where the robot might. Keep that fork in your head because it decides everything. But there is a third factor, and honestly, it is the one that should make a business owner pause the hardest. Privacy and access. To do real tasks, the agent needs to be inside your logged-in world. Your email, your accounts, your dashboards, the stuff with actual money and customer data behind it. Now, the reasonable versions of this ask you to approve sensitive steps. It pauses and says, "Are you sure?" before it does something risky, and it typically wants you present for logins and payments. That is a good guardrail, and you should keep it on. But think about what you are actually deciding. You are letting an automated system operate inside accounts where one wrong click has consequences. A human intern who cancels the wrong order feels bad. The agent does not know it did anything wrong. It just moves to the next step. For a personal errand, low stakes, whatever. For a business with client data, billing. And legal exposure, that is a real decision, not a shrug. You would not hand a stranger your logged in accounts and say, "Figure it out." Slow down before you do the digital version of that. And here's the honest limit on top of that. This is early technology, it will get better. But right now, the safest way to use it is supervised on low stakes tasks in accounts where a mistake is annoying and not catastrophic. So we have 3 trade-offs on the table now: reliability, speed, and privacy. Let us put the whole thing head to head against the boring alternative that quietly beats it more often than anyone admits. The real competitor to the ChatGPT computer control feature is not another chatbot. It is plain old automation, the unglamorous kind. Here's the split. Simple automation, the connect app A to app B kind, is rigid. It only does the exact thing you set up. But because it plugs directly into apps instead of clicking around a screen, it is fast and it runs the same way every single time. The agent is flexible. It can attempt almost any website, even one nobody built a connector for. But that flexibility is exactly why it is slower and less reliable. It is guessing at a screen instead of using a stable connection. So walk one task through both. Say you want new form submissions saved into a spreadsheet. Simple automation wires the form to the sheet once, and then it just happens forever in the background, no watching. The agent would open the form site, read it, open the sheet, and copy things over by hand every time. Slower, and it might trip on a page change. For anything you do repeatedly on apps that talk to each other, plain automation wins on speed and reliability, hands down. It is not close. The agent earns its place in one specific gap. A one-off task on a random website with no connector that would be a pain to set up any other way. That is its lane. That is where flexible but shaky actually beats rigid but reliable, which means the honest way to choose is not agent versus everything. It is matching the tool to the shape of the task. And most of your recurring business tasks are the wrong shape for this feature. Let me be blunt about who this is wrong for right now, because the hype pretends it is for everyone. If your tasks touch money, client data, or anything with legal weight, and you cannot afford a confident mistake, skip letting it run loose. Supervise and low stakes only. If the task is something you already do fast and do often, you are the automation and you are better and quicker than the agent. Do not downgrade yourself to babysitter. If the task repeats on apps that already connect, use plain automation instead. It is faster, steadier, and it does not need you hovering. Who should actually try it? Someone facing a genuine one-off on a clunky site that would take forever by hand and that does not touch anything scary. That person might get real value today. Everyone else, treat it as a promising thing to watch, not a daily tool to lean on. Play with it on throwaway tasks so you understand it. Do not bet a client deadline on it yet. That is the objective picture. All 3 trade-offs and the boring competitor laid flat on the table. So the real question is whether a busy owner should even bother messing with this category at all right now. Okay, this is a fun one because I actually use browser control for some of the automations I can't do through the API, but I'm a full-blown vibe coder. I own 2 companies and I use browser control, not a browser extension. I think a browser extension is a waste of time because you never actually use it. Whoever uses a browser extension, unless it's photo capture or video capture, I know I don't use browser extensions ever, but what is useful is that if you're using Claude Code and you have the Playwright skill integration, it can open its own automated browser and actually do tasks. Fun fact, I used it to register my corporation and change the name of my corporation with the Canadian government. Don't tell the Canadian government. They probably wouldn't look good on me. I've done that, and so browser control is valuable, but you really have to train the AI how to use the browser. I've used browser control not with ChatGPT because ChatGPT sucks. Claude is way better. If using Claude and Playwright, I've used it to sign up to events. I've given my AI Claude Code my credit card to sign me up to events and spend my money. It truly is a valuable skill. I would not shake my head at it, but it is shaky for daily work. It is useful if you have a one-off task, but if you're trying to automate stuff, it is tricky. It is shaky because it has to open up its browser. You have to have your computer always on because if your computer is not on, it can't open up the automated browser. In that case, it sucks, right? With an API, and if you have a separate computer that all your automations work on, then it can just work without your main computer being on. If you're doing browser automations, then your computer has to stay on, which is slightly inconvenient. But if you're a full-blown founder vibe coder, it's not a big deal. You're pretty used to it already because you're on Claude Code all the time. I think the one biggest mistake is that people try and automate things that aren't going to make them more money, and that's that. Use browser control if you want to. Don't use it if you don't want to, but it can be a valuable tool. Here's the simple rule to act on today. Match the tool to the task, not to the hype. Recurring work on connected apps goes to plain automation. Every time. Fast-skilled work stays with you, and the ChatGPT computer control feature is your reach for it option only when a task is a one-off on some awkward site with no connector, and it does not touch money, clients, or anything you cannot afford to get wrong. Use it that way, and it is a handy tool in a small drawer. Treat it as your new autopilot for everything, and it will quietly cost you the exact time and safety it promised to save. If this saved you from overpaying with your afternoon, subscribe, because I break down these AI tools in plain English so you can tell the real ones from the toys. Tell me in the comments which tool you want me to pull apart next. And a real thank you to NBC Canada Inc. for backing this one. If your trades or construction books are a mess, go grab that free bookkeeping scorecard at the link up top and find out where your money is actually going.